The aesthetics of your physique is mostly genetic. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. But a quick reminder, please remember to like this video. If you aren't subscribed or following, I would appreciate it if you do so. And if you would please drop a comment, whether it's your thoughts on this or just to say hello, I would appreciate that also. So thank you so much. All right, let's get over to the topic. And I'm saying this in a way to be very positive. And I think what people need to remember when this whole idea of a certain look they want, maybe you have a certain structure you'd like to see, maybe a specific type of physique or bodybuilding or whatever, people get hung up on, hey, I want to look like this one person over here. And the reality is you probably aren't. Unless you have their structure, their insertions, their genetics, you may not look like them, guys. And that's okay. All right, and here's what you have to remember. And I'm going to give practical advice here. Here's what you have to remember. Are you trying to compete in something? Are you trying to make your living as a certain type of influencer? If the answer is no, then, guess what? It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. Because what I want most of you to keep in mind, the people who see you walking down the street, or other things. So let's assume we're not even talking performance-based. A lot of us train for various strength sports and performance as a primary. But that aside, the thing to think about with that, do you think anyone who sees you walking down the street judges you by competitive bodybuilding or men's physique standards? Do you think they judge you by Instagram standards? If a person looks and realizes you're fit or jacked or big, do you think they really care? No. All right, guys, here's a big one. Do you think any girl who's checking you out who maybe likes guys who are a little fitter, she likes muscle or likes abs or whatever it happens to be, do you really think she cares that you don't have perfect bodybuilder or physique competitor aesthetics? Do you think she really cares that you don't look like the guy on the cover of the magazine or the guy with the perfect lighting and the Photoshop on Instagram? Do you really think she cares at all? Do you think it makes even one tiny shred of difference? Of course not. No, it doesn't matter. So here's what I'm going to say to people. Just train. Okay? Enjoy the fringe benefits. You can't control what your muscle insertions look like. You can't control what your bone structure looks like. But what you can do is gain muscle. What you can do is lose fat. And generally speaking, if you just want to look better, will gaining muscle overall help? Yeah, usually. If you want to have maybe a more trimmed down, leaner look, tighter look, will losing fat get you there? Of course it will. All right, I can tell you with any of you guys right now, once you've built a muscular base, if you just want to look better, and I'm not particularly ripped right now myself, so I'm not talking about myself here, guys. I mean, this would apply to me right now too, wouldn't it? If I dropped 10 pounds of body fat, this same thing I'm telling you right now would absolutely apply to me. My physique probably look better. Yeah, probably would. Okay. Fair statement. But if that's your goal, then drop a little body fat. All right? That's very, very straightforward. If you're like, man, I want to look tighter and leaner. I want some more cuts. I want, more definition. I want smaller waist. We'll lose some fat. Cut a little bit of body weight. Cut some body fat. Problem solved. How do you do that? Cut your calories back a little. Bump your protein a little. Maybe add a little more cardio. It's pretty straightforward, guys. That's not a particularly complicated process. I'm not saying it's an easy process. Let me state that again. I am not saying it's an easy process. I'm saying it's not complicated. Right? There's not a lot of advanced knowledge that goes into losing 10 pounds of body fat. Keep lifting weights, probably bump your protein a hair, cut your calories, another 10%, 15%, maybe add a little cardio. I mean, that's the entire complexity. That is the whole science of it. If you want all of it to be as perfect as possible, those are probably the three things that you should think about doing. Not saying it's always easy to implement, but you get the idea. Same thing on the rest of it. You can't control your genetic structure, so just build muscle. And that's the advice that I've had even from, I know a guy, he's been coaching pro natural bodybuilders for over 20 years. He has earned men and women dozens and dozens of Natty Pro cards. I've had some fun conversations with him. Interesting dude, guy named Craig. I've seen him say the same thing. He's like, quit trying to figure out what class you want to compete in. He goes, you can't change your genetics. So he's talking even to competitors, like natural competitors. He's like, you can't change your structure. You can't change your genetics. There is a division you can compete in. He's talking to men and women because women have even more divisions than men do in terms of bodybuilding and physique. It's like, you can't change any of that. You probably are only going to win in one division. He goes, and unless you're an absolute just genetic freak, a genetic anomaly, you probably only have one division that you have the genes to compete really well in. And that's going to be determined by your genetics. He's like, so just pick that division and run with it. Just go with it. And he's like, so how do you get there? You just build muscle everywhere. He's like, so since your genetics and your structure are going to determine what division you compete in, he's like, don't weak point train. Don't specialize in anything. He's like, just build every single muscle. He's like, take every muscle in your body, everything from your calves to your hamstrings to your pecs to your rear delts. He's like, and just develop all of it. He goes, just take all of it to its absolute and furthest genetic limit within your limits of your structure and your frame and just build it. Don't worry about weak point training. He goes, you're just going to create other imbalances. Just train all of it. Make sure you do the bare minimum volume to make everything grow really, really well. And then, whatever else you can recover from beyond that. He's like, train everything, every single last muscle. Get everything as big as you can personally get it. And then rib down. Rib down to the appropriate body fat for that division. He's like, because you can't change your genetics. You can't just be magically good genetics and structure for one division and just do well in another. He's like, you'll probably place worse. You just pick the right division. He goes, and don't bother to try to train for that division. Just build everything. So wouldn't the same thing apply to all of you who just want a better physique? Just go gain muscle. Just build everything. Build your whole body. Make sure you build your biceps. Make sure you build your quads. Make sure your traps make sure everything gets worked. Just build everything. And then if you want to have a better physique after that, improved aesthetics, just get leaner. And let your genetics just dictate where you are. No, you probably won't be Mr. Olympia. You probably won't get a pro card in anything. But you'll still look good. And to the average person, you may even look like a god if you just do those things. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.